Hello and welcome to How I Failed in Business, the business podcast that dives headfirst into failures and finds the lessons within them. I'm your host, Megan Grace. Oh, no, I forgot, that's right. Rob actually couldn't be bothered to be here today, so you've just got me. But no, Rob is a very busy guy. We miss him lots, but the show has to go on. We do have Molly, though, behind the camera as always. Hi, Molly.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
You're doing well.
Yeah.
That's great. And we are also joined by a guest today. So today we have Nick Gold, Managing Director of Speakers Corner, Director of Speaking Office, and Director of Future Voices. Hi. Oh,
Loving that.
there we go.
Loving that. Who needs Rob when we got that?
We don't, honestly. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm really good.
It's good to be here with both of you.
Yes, absolutely. No, we're very excited about this. You've come all the way from London today.
I love that. I love it. You make it sound exotic. Yeah.
All the way from the
from
mystical land of London.
Yes,
We were talking a bit because obviously me and Molly were saying that we love going to London. You say you love
I love London.
living there.
It's a great city.
It is.
I think the UK should be really proud of what London is.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much talk about the country and how the split and everything like that. Actually, let's celebrate what we've got and celebrate all different parts of it.
Yeah.
Kind of everyone looking at different areas to always.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's my bit of politics.
That's
Right.
it.
I've done that.
There we go.
Can I actually ask what your favourite thing about London is?
Yeah.
Or best thing to do, go to?
Mm.
Okay, so two different questions. My favourite thing about London is the truth is everyone is comfortable with everyone else. Like in terms of you walk down the street and you see all different types of people and they just are comfortable who they are.
Yeah.
What do I most enjoy about London? So I live North London, which, just to be absolutely clear, is the better part of London. And like Hampstead Heath, the top of Hampstead Heath, where you have the view over London, which I think it's been used for many different films and things like that. It's just when you go there, I've got a couple of dogs, and you walk the dogs, and you're there at 7 o'clock in the morning as the sun's rising, things like that. It's just spectacular views.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of you just feel good about life when you're up there and doing that. And I love the fact that it's one of the biggest cities in the world, and yet it's so green with these amazing spaces where you can actually get peace and quiet in this metropolis of a city.
Yeah. I'm
I
jealous.
love that.
I should have said something else, like, I love the clubs and like the entertainment. I love the peace in the middle of the city.
Yeah. No, that's so cool.
Mm.
So yeah, obviously we've given you a brief introduction here. There's quite a few things you
Yes.
do. I'm just gonna give you the floor. What is it?
Okay,
what
so
you do?
let me take you back,
Yeah.
and we'll go we can explore whatever you like to explore. But started Speakers Corner now 24 years ago, which is a speaker bureau. And what does a speaker bureau do? Basically, we work with our clients to help them choose the best speaker, as in motivational speaker, after dinner speaker, awards host, kind of a business speaker for their event, whether it's a conference or event.
Yeah.
And we give them advice knowing these people, and Speakers Corner has grown over the last however many years, and now it's one of the biggest players in Europe, and kind of we work on 1,500, 2,000 events a year and have a lot of fun with it. And so that went great guns. And over the years, and again, we got asked if we would help speakers develop their careers in the world of speaking. And we realised, no, we don't do that because as a speaker bureau, our clients are the ones who are booking the speaker.
Yeah.
But we also knew that we were missing a trick on two levels. Firstly, the opportunity, secondly, commercially. So about 12, 13 years ago now, we set up a different company, which is Speaking Office, which is a management company where sits alongside successful business people, kind of successful sports people, successful lecturers, all these different people who've been successful in their own field. Sorry, something like that. And help them build their speaking career,
Right.
which over the years we've been working at this. The speaking industry has matured and developed, and we can talk about that a little. So that's gone and that's built up, and we now Speaking Office now represents about 60 odd different speakers from all different types of people. Cause when I say some, all really, really cool people. They're all fantastic. That was awful. And then the final bit, which is the Future Voices thing, we've been talking. Tim, who's my brother, and I, we're talking for a long time about the fact that one of the biggest things in this market, which we've seen mature, is the fact that people working within it and the speakers don't really understand the market.
Yeah.
And how can you be successful in a market that you don't understand? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So we thought there's something out there, and which is not managing someone, which is sitting beside them and helping them with a career, and not doing what we do at Speaker's Corner, which is maybe I'll have an hour conversation with the speaker and say, you need to do this, this, and this, and just get on with it, and it's up to you then what you do.
Yeah.
But something more, which is, why not run a training program, like a program, which might involve a boot camp and a bit afterwards, where we give speakers all the information about an industry, so they can choose, so they can actually start planning and strategizing what they're doing with their career.
Yeah.
And the crux of that is the fact that when I started, people used to book a speaker because they'd been on telly or they'd climbed 19 mountains and things like that.
Yeah.
And it used to be very much about the joy of, oh my God, there's that person on stage. I'm staring at Taylor Swift. There's that person on stage, kind of how exciting it is for me to be there.
Yeah.
And there's kind of, as the market has developed, there's a realization that, hold on, if I'm listening to this person, what am I actually getting out of it? Because otherwise, I have a good time I have a good moment at that time, but the next day when I go back to my desk, I've not really learnt anything. Yeah. So the market is now matured to actually, effectively, these speakers, it's not about who you are, it's about what you can give back to me. Absolutely. So you're writing a business case. So the client, the company who's putting on this event, effectively is writing a business case as to why should we have that person up on stage.
Yeah.
And for a lot of for speakers who historically have come from a place whereby, look, I just won a gold medal at the Olympics, to turn around to them and say, I'm not really interested in your gold medal. I'm interested in how you can tell me what got you out of bed on a wet, cold November morning, having not seen your family for 6 months and your whole body aches, and the Olympics is 3 years out in difference. In the kind of out there, what got you out of bed to still go training? Yeah. Because if you can tell me that, then when I go back to my desk on like Tuesday morning, that's going to be useful for me, because I don't want to be at that desk. No. And it's all very well saying that's what you do to get paid, but we all want more than that. Yeah, absolutely. And that evolution of the industry and that kind of transition for a speaker from what they thought they were doing to what they really are doing is what fascinates us about and why we set up Future Voices. Yeah, absolutely. So those are the three companies. They're almost kind of, and so interestingly, we cover a broad spectrum of the speaking industry, which is a fascinating industry. Absolutely. It sounds like it's all like flowing really naturally as well. Yes. Yeah. I love that. I love the way you sum that up, because it all flowed really naturally, having taken many, many years and lots of angst. Yeah, of course. But it was always, it came out of being asked the same questions again and again by different people, or being asked if we could do stuff for people again and again. It was like, well, there must be something out there for us to do. And kind of, I said to someone the other day, like, if you're in a job a long time, because apology, but kind of going all over the place. when I first started Speaker's Corner, in my head it was always like, I'll only ever, having done work before, I'm never going to be in a business more than 3 years. Now 23 years later, still in that business. Doing it. But I said, so the problem is for most people, it's like you spend some time in a business, and when you get bored or whatever, you might move on to another job or do something else. Instead, I stupidly start another business, which I'm sure isn't the most sensible thing, and kind of I'm sure that's not the most like relaxing thing to do. But that seems to be where I'm at. It sounds like it's working for you, honestly. So I wouldn't don't question it too much. No. So, what was sort of your main motivation to sort of get that all started, apart from just jumping from business to business? So, if kind of. I turned 50 this year, so I've reached that age where I'm now probably feel like old and things like that. But so it means everything I refer to when I say kind of when I started seems like years and years ago. But I went to university, I got a job, enjoyed the job, and knew that worked in the job for 2 years. And then me and now my wife, but at the time my partner, we just decided to take a year off and go travelling. This was like when we were 24-ish, which was kind of tremendous. Like at the time, the company had just offered me a promotion. I was like, to be honest, thanks a lot, but we're going travelling. They were like, you're always going to do this. I was like, yeah, of course I was. And it was a time when the internet was exploding. Right. Specifically, e-commerce was coming in. So this is the start of like Amazon and things like that. Yeah. And I was away. My sister, who's 18 months older than me, like she said, what are you doing when you get back? That's why I was still away. And I was like, I don't know. I'll find a job, whatever. And she said, I don't know what it is, but I've heard there's lots of rumours about this thing called e-commerce. Mm-hmm. And I was like, great, I'm going to get a job in e-commerce. So, I got home and I asked around, and a friend of mine a very clever guy, a lovely friend of mine. He was working for this startup with 2 of them in it. And he said, come and join me. I was like, cool, sounds good. Worked in that startup for kind of 2 years. At one point, we were listed alongside lastminute.com as one of the 6 startups in London. And then we thought we were worth a lot of money, and then the next day we were worth absolutely nothing. Like the boom bust thing at the time. Went to work for another startup, and then went to work for I was going to say proper company, but I'm sure that's not the right thing. A big company, because I was like, which almost was my on-the-job MBA. Yeah. But I stepped into the door of this big company and knew from day one that I wasn't going to, that it wasn't for me. I wasn't that type of person. And so I thought I'll give it 3 years because I think that's a good length of time.
Yeah.
And after 2 years, all I wanted was my next idea. And I just couldn't think of what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And my mother-in-law had an entertainment business where she was booking a magician or like a balloonist or something like that for a wedding type of thing. And she noticed the right other thing, which was people asking for a comedian or a speaker at their wedding. Yeah. Now the difference is, if you are booking a magician, unless you're booking Dynamo, you don't really care who the magician is.
Yeah,
you just want someone to
do magic.
Do magic. Whereas actually, if you're looking for a comedian, you're going to say, and the audience is like this, and we don't want jokes about these people, and you're very, very specific about what you want, and it's a different price point as well. Yeah. So she was having these thoughts in her head, and actually the long story is the fact that I was helping her on her first website. Okay. And she was working with a client on Hairdresser of the Year Awards. Okay. Where they wanted to host, and I sat there listening to her. She recommended everyone she could recommend. It was Simon. Do you know Simon Amstell, the comedian? No.
I mean, names I don't know, faces I might know.
Fine. So there's a guy called Simon Amstell who at the time, 25 years ago, was on a program called Pop World on Channel 4, which is slightly subversive. Okay. And I used to like, and the client was saying, I don't like all these suggestions. And my mother-in-law hung up the phone from her. I said they want Simon Amstell. And she was like, I don't even know who this is. I've got literally no idea who this is. And she rang, fair play to her, she rang back the client. She said, I don't know who this person is, but I've got my son-in-law designing my website here. And he says, you want Simon Amstell. And they said, that's the greatest idea of all time. And so, and she said to me, and she knew where I was, and she said, do you want to take this on? Yeah. And I was like, I was like, yeah, might as well. I've been waiting for this idea. And I think, and I tell that story on the back of, I've been working in this corporate life, and I'd been to many conferences and seen lots of speakers. Yeah. And I sat at the back of the room, and this is maybe more about me than them, and thought to myself as they held up their gold medal and telling me that you too can do it, that A, I can't do it, and B, I'm too lazy to do it. So I always had this real cynicism about what speakers can give. Yeah. So I was already, like, without even realising it, I was already thinking about it. Yeah. So when I got this opportunity to start Speakers Corner, get going, it was very much like I came in with a fresh viewpoint of, I'm not just going to accept that I'm privileged. I get to meet some incredible people. Yeah. But my job as in the speaker world is actually to challenge what they're talking about. Yeah. And I've always been a lippy so-and-so and happy to chat through stuff. So actually, as I started having conversations with people and saying, I get it, we can hold your gold medal, but clients aren't going to pay lots of money for that. No. They're going to pay lots of money for your learnings, what are you doing? Absolutely. So saying this to their faces, and maybe they'd never heard it before, had that pushback before, it could have gone one of two ways, and luckily it went the right way. Yeah, so there. That's a long answer to a short question.
No, like I said, it's really interesting. I guess, like with a lot of speakers, like it's very easy to sort of talk about all the great things, like I've done this, but actually, like what people want out of it is like the gritty stuff, is the what's not gone so right, like what all of this stuff.
I find it fascinating, that feeling of. And I think we've all done this. Like, you might have gone to something, you're like, that's the greatest thing of all time. And this world of immediacy that we live in with, like, our phones, you might be texting your friends or stick something on Insta or whatever it was. Yeah. Like, this is the greatest experience. And then you wake up the next day and there's nothing inside.
Yeah, it's not.
And I think that's a real shame. And actually, kind of, that's what I felt. And that's why I kind of started turning around to people and saying, yeah, but I don't want that feeling of instant gratification, because almost that's easy, because any performer on stage should be able to give it. Yeah. What's really interesting is actually, am I going to remember you?
Yeah, the deeper.
Yeah. Well, am I going to remember you 3 months later? Are you going to have any impact on my life else? You know something? Let me take it for what it is. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
No, absolutely. I think, yeah, that all sounds sick. Who am I? That sounds sick. Okay.
Heading into it. I like it. Let's do
that
this.
sounds sick. Oh gosh, I just knocked the mic. Sorry, Molly, can you hear me? Okay, sorry. I'm scared. Okay, I mean, we'll obviously dive more deep into lots of this stuff.
Yeah.
But shall we play our first game?
So excited.
The leaderboard game. So as you've already noticed, we do have our Taylor Swift over there. She is called our Taylor time tracker because you've got to do it swift. Do you see?
Got it.
I'll go grab Taylor.
This is clever. I like this a lot. I don't know what the game is, but 7.9 seconds sounds very swift.
Yes, extremely. I mean, that was a bit of a Rob mistake, and since he's not here, we can bash him. So the game is called Mystery Mishaps.
Okay.
So it's going to be about a company that has made sort of a bit of a mistake, had a bit of a mishap,
Yeah.
a bit of an error. We've got 5 clues.
Okay.
You've got to guess what the company is.
Okay.
Now, you are going to be timed, and you are going to be placed on our lovely Taylor time tracker here, along with all of our other guests. So at the top, like you said, we have Rosanna Croft with 7.9 seconds.
So impressive.
Well, the answer was given away in the first clue. So it was Weatherspoons.
It's still genius to pick up on that.
It is, but it was like the company was Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
Rob had written the questions. And he was like, this like iconic British pub or something. And obviously, when someone says iconic British pub,
Weatherspoons.
you're going to go to Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
So he literally, I think they were all the words he said, and she was like, Weatherspoons. We were like, yeah, right.
Can I have that, please?
I see. I'm a bit of a better question writer. I'm also a bit of a harsher question writer.
It's the first time I regret Rob not being.
Honestly. But yeah, so Rosanna did incredibly well anyway. Can't fault her.
As long as I beat 2 minute 50.
Yeah, well, that shouldn't be too. I mean, I'm just above it with 2.2, so I can't really say anything. We have producer Molly up there with 11 seconds.
That's very good.
Again.
Did you write your own question?
I think that was one of Rob's, to be fair. But
It was one of Rob's.
There's a theme here.
Again, yours was John Lewis.
I got it after like 2 guesses, though. I was just
did.
quick.
I had Starling Bank, so I think
That's tough.
that was
What,
tougher.
do you have any advice? Do you just throw names out or
Just
do you wait?
throw names out, yeah. I mean, are we limiting it to 1 guess per clue? Or are we going to be nice?
I feel you're already you're aiming to get me to have
just
one
don't-
more person below
I
you.
just don't want to be second last. Okay, I'm not happy with that.
I think you can do multiple per question because we have done that in the past.
Okay, yeah. Just shout out when you think you know it. Yeah.
Weatherspoons.
Pardon?
Weatherspoons.
I mean, let me get a few words in first. We need... Oh, a picture. Yeah, of course. Sorry. We need a picture to add. So
Okay.
I'm just going to take one of you if you're ready.
Pull the lens.
We're really professional here, honestly.
No, but I really like this. It's a better.
Yeah. Little aesthetic. Okay, you ready?
Yes, I am so ready. It's my serious gaming face.
There we go. More, have you got any film?
Is there no film in there?
Well, since there's no film come out of the camera, I'm
Okay.
gonna say
I'll sort that and we'll get a picture later.
we'll take the picture at the end.
That sounds
but
great.
It was great practice. Great practice.
Depending how I do afterwards, you'll
you.
get a different
A
face.
different face. Okay, I'll get the timer ready.
I've got a timer.
You've got the timer?
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
No.
No.
I'm very nervous right now.
Don't be nervous.
Okay.
It's not too serious. There's no prize.
I think the problem with Starling Bank is like, oh my god.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I think this is easier than Starling Bank.
Oh great. Okay.
We ready?
Yep.
Okay. 3, 2,
Countdown.
1. This UK-based organisation plays a central role in how businesses are run. What's in my eye? Carry on.
CBI.
No. It's not a private company, but its work affects every registered business in the country.
It's not a private company, but it's work affects HMRC.
No, but we're on the right lines. In 2009, a small administrative error by this body led to the collapse of a long-standing engineering firm.
Wow.
Maybe
Wow.
it's a bit harder than I thought.
This is absolutely fine. Along the lines of HMRC. So nothing. Is it a governmental organisation? I mean, I was to ask. Is it a governmental
Yeah,
organisation?
yeah,
So
yeah.
which one is it?
I can give you the next clue if you
The
want.
next two.
The mistake involved confusing two nearly identical company names. The difference came down to one single
Company's
character.
House.
Yes! Nice.
That was tough. Like, 'cause I wouldn't call that a business. It's
I
inter-
know. I mean, yeah, maybe I should have gone with company or business. Maybe that was my
fine.
wording. My bad.
No. It's interesting. Like, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
What was the last clue?
The last clue would have been the company responsible for maintaining the official register of UK companies.
What was the company that it brought down?
So it was Taylor and Sons.
And what happened? So I'm now putting you on the
No,
spot.
no, don't worry. I've got my notes here. I'm well prepared for once. In 2009, Companies House, the UK's official company register, made a critical error by mistakenly recording Taylor and Sons Limited, a 124-year-old Welsh engineering company, as being wound up, so shut down.
Yeah.
The mistake occurred because Companies House confused it with a completely different company, Taylor and Son Ltd, so without the S, so Son instead of Sons, which had gone into liquidation. This tiny error, essentially the addition of one letter, had devastating consequences. Despite the correction being made weeks later, the false information had already spread to suppliers, customers and credit agencies. As a result, Taylor and Sons lost contracts and credit lines withdrawn and ultimately collapsed within a few months. In 2015, a UK court ruled that Companies House was liable for the mistake and ordered it to pay up to 8.8 million in damages. So
That's
big,
crazy.
quite a big mistake, I'd say. One of the bigger ones.
But how quickly? It's fun. The interesting thing about that for me is the fact that it's a 124-year-old company.
Yeah.
And so quickly the suppliers lost trust in.
Yeah.
When they went, like, they phoned up their suppliers and, hey, don't worry about it. There's a mistake at Companies House, and yet they're like, no, we don't.
No, they've just the news had spread.
And when was that? What year? 2000.
That happened in 2009.
I think that says so much about our, like, almost society's lack of respect over the fact that people do the right thing.
Exactly.
Kind of no one trusts anyone
No.
anymore, that mistakes can make and we can rectify it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And that's very sad on many levels.
crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
But I suppose they got 8.8 million, so.
Yeah, but 124 years of history is
yeah, I mean, that's
insane.
It's like, again, going back to my business, like our whole business, yes, you have contracts and everything else, but it relies on relationships between, we're dealing with people, so it relies on relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually, if that can break down so quickly.
Exactly, and it's such an important thing, like, especially here with what we do with our clients, like, you have such a good relationship with your clients and you spend so much time, like, putting effort into building that relationship. So the fact that could be lost so quickly over, like, a mistake that's not even their fault.
I think, yeah. I'm just thinking, like, I don't know, again, tangentially, but every other event we seem to be booking a speaker for these days is about AI and the whole thing about AI. And actually, if the first wave of AI speakers was very much around, tell us about AI because it's going to change us and we're all going to lose our jobs, etc., etc. Now it's about, okay, we understand AI is in the world. How do we as a business use AI but also keep what is good about us, which is the relationships, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're starting to see that actually what's important is we keep ourselves at the forefront of what we're doing.
Exactly.
And like that upsets me because it's like I don't understand how you could just lose faith in each other so quickly.
Absolutely. And I guess with what you do as well, like, in terms of go back to like AI and stuff, with the speakers that you have, like, I feel like that's never going to really be lost because it's that human to human connection, surely.
How did I do before I?
Oh my God, yeah, sorry, I've just gone completely off on a tangent.
No, so did I, and I was like, I can't sit here the entire time and not know. Am I bottom?
Let's see. Molly, how did we do?
I think it was quite a good time, to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you think you did?
I think I was just over a minute.
Okay.
I would say the same. I think he's going to go between. So we have Charlie here and we have Venetia here. I think he's between
That'd be
Charlie
good. I'd be
and
happy with
Venetia.
that.
Okay. Well, it's slightly below a minute. So you.
Oh.
I feel like I've won in life.
So you've got 52 seconds.
Okay.
I have to say probably between 27 seconds and 42 seconds I was in complete panic mode.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to be at the 7-minute mark, and this conversation is going to be just me thinking, which will be the worst conversation ever.
No, that's really
That was
good.
good, yeah.
So we're here. We're just above Charlie here.
You did help me when
Wow.
I was like, is it? Kind of when I was like,
Yeah, but to be fair, I had made it quite hard, so it's okay.
let me I'll go back to answer your question, kind of.
Yes. That human to human
So it was really interesting because obviously the pandemic, and I tried to avoid going back to kind of, because we still,
Yeah.
but obviously the events industry
Yeah. Oh, God.
kind of collapsed.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the pandemic. And we switched to virtual, where people could speak on screen and like kind of you could talk about that whole thing. But it always felt a bit empty, and it still feels a bit empty. And now, actually, I think kind of it's an interesting place virtual, because I think there's a place for speakers and for meetings virtual. But
Yeah.
actually, it's different from what you do when you have person-to-person stuff. Which
Yeah.
is about the connection. So it's about one of the things I look back on massively is, as an industry, our panic and our lack of understanding that this isn't about, like, when you book a speaker, it's not really about the speaker, it's about the impact they have on the audience and the fact that they go to the bar afterwards, they have a drink, and their minds are whirring and coming up with new ideas,
Yeah.
so they can move their business, whatever it is, forward.
Yeah.
And I regret that we didn't have strength in the industry to be explaining that to
Yeah.
and trying to work out how we were going to go forward, rather than just panic about how we were going to save our business, the
Yeah.
industry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, the answer is
Yeah.
events and those live experiences are only going to get stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
And stronger. And I think kind of with Taylor beside us, I think kind of
Really?
I regularly reference the music industry,
Yeah.
and everything someone does now, like the world of music is easy, but I think in the world of thought leadership, for want of a better thing, it's the same thing, which is effectively we want to hear, like, I can listen to your speech on the internet,
Yeah.
but seeing it in person
It's different.
is a completely different
It's
thing.
so
And same with
different.
music. I can listen to Taylor Swift's music all day long, but actually
Yeah.
going to see her at Wembley kind of is another
Yeah.
experience. And I think that's where we are, is we all crave that moment, which is our moment. For us and the other 300 people in the room, or 50,000 people at Wembley,
Yeah.
that's something which kind of we can take. I think kind of, something, again, going off on one, but it's one of the things that I would love. And you're seeing it certainly in some of the smaller clubs in London. It upsets me that, like, people stand there and they're recording on their phones.
Yeah.
Because just be in that moment. And I
Yeah,
get it,
be
because
in
I
the
do it
moment.
myself. Like, I'm not saying I'm...
It is so easy to sort of just get your phone out, take one video, and then all of a sudden the concert's gone by and you're like, oh.
Yeah, and you've
Yeah.
got it. And I was somewhere recently, and like we were just watching, and I was just to see if people taking stuff on the phones.
Yeah.
And like, I was one of them, and I was like, why am I doing this? Because I'm not
Yeah.
experiencing that moment. And I think it's something. The more we are aware of that, actually, to embrace every minute. the more
Yeah.
that-
I feel like it's
kind of-
something that gets lost like so much, and it's easy to do, and like we're all guilty of it, I guess. But
It's actually
It's
it's
so-
that kind of and again, I appreciate this is kind of, but I think it's the whole thing is that we spend our lives trying to validate who we are and what we're doing and why we do it. And I think
yes,
that's a lot of when you talk about kind of your personal life, when you talk about business stuff like that.
yeah.
That's what we spend a lot of time doing. And
Yeah.
actually, kind of, rather than me continue taking you off on tangents, but I think it's one of the things that I've definitely learned is just kind of, if you own yourself and actually you're proud of who you are, you don't need to validate who you are
Yeah,
to anyone else.
absolutely.
And if they don't accept you, then you kind of, that's their problem. It's not yours.
Yeah, I think let's clip that up social media. That's great.
Well, it's like, yeah. I don't know. It's something that really bothers. Is like, actually, it's like, I've got to take this and I've got to post this. There was a great
Yeah.
thing this is probably pre-socials. So, but it was when probably 10 years ago or something like that, someone told me that a site sprung up where people would buy tickets from old concerts. Right.
Right.
Like the actual tickets.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, Stone Roses at Spike Island or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
They'd buy those tickets so they could say they were there.
Oh.
Because actually it validated, like, it didn't matter whether it wasn't about the memories.
Yeah.
It was about
it's
the fact.
saying
And I
you've
kind of feel
been.
that's what's going on with
Yeah.
like, you go to a concert in order to record being at the concert, so then you can tell people you were
You
there
went
rather than actually
being there
going to
for
the concert for being going for the concert.
Yeah, I think that's a massive thing, massive thing. But yeah, so going back to you, what you do. Obviously, like we mentioned, like it just seems to have flown from the speaker's corner to the speaking office and all flowed really naturally. But it kind of always been the easiest of journeys, right?
No.
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 Is there any? Yeah.
Well, listen, I think kind of let's start at the obvious place, which is like after doing it for about a year and a half or kind of 2 years, my brother, who's a bit younger than me but was as lost as I am in terms of what to do, I was like, come and join me in the business. So obviously working with your brother is a very unique thing.
Obviously,
and also doing something that neither of you ever planned to do in an industry that neither of you really knew much about.
Yeah.
And almost, I think kind of saying we weren't passionate about, that it's wrong but it's right, is a really interesting thing, because it's not like, did I always want to be in the speaking industry? No, I didn't even know anything about speaking.
Yeah.
Did I always want to run my own business? No, I didn't. It wasn't. We just kind of fell into it. So you're falling into lots of stuff while also, like, bear in mind, Tim's 5 years younger than me, and actually we started, like, he probably was 23, 22 when
So young.
when kind of we started.
Yeah.
Like, you're also, it was almost an evolving of a relationship, because I have an older sister who's 18 months older, who we were much closer when we were growing up because we were similar age.
Yeah.
And Tim was the youngest and obviously the spare part of the family.
Oh, bless him.
No, don't feel sorry for him. That wasn't a feeling sorry. He's the youngest of my parents. Like,
I guess
so he deserves
fine.
everything. So not only was it kind of getting into bed with a partner, kind of in terms of business, but it was also like developing a relationship with your brother, which was a different relationship from what you've had previously, and kind of learning about each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that was just the embryonic thing, and then kind of you're like, within the business context, when we first started, it was like, okay, we just want to have fun, and actually kind of, especially at the time, like most business in the speaking industry were 2 or 3 people. They were like family-run businesses, and we employed a couple of people, and it's only got bigger and bigger, and all the way through, you're like, do we want to get bigger? Do we want to be kind of looking after people, like having staff and all that involves, or do we just want to keep on doing what we're doing?
Yeah.
And I think, like, possibly the biggest challenge is we never sat down and really said, this is what we hope to achieve. I think kind of one of my biggest bugbears of, like, the world of entrepreneurs, especially, and kind of coming from when you look at Dragon's Den or something like that, is this question about, what do you want to do at the end of your business? Like, what's the exit strategy or whatever you want to talk about? Because I think possibly it's much easier if you do have one, but at the same time, I think you lose the magic if you go in with a plan of where you're going to get out, because actually the joy of the whole thing is we're going to make mistakes along the way, and actually that's more of the fun than the kind of getting it right part.
Absolutely, seeing how it goes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, working with your brother, do you find that, I mean, I don't have siblings. I'm an only child, so I'm the favourite anyway. But I have to be.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But do you find, like, were you able to sort of keep it, like, brothers separate to, like, business partners, or like what? So, how did that impact?
I think so. I've always said, and I still say it, here's the thing about working with a member of your family: is the truth is, we tried to do it very early morning before anyone else was in the room, but we'd have massive shouting matches.
Yeah.
There'd be books thrown around the room.
Gosh, yeah.
But we knew that actually, like, that evening we might be going around to our parents' house for dinner, so we knew that we were leaving everything in that room because there was going to be no hang-ups about the whole thing. And I think and I reflect on that massively over the years, over the fact that the truth is, if you're in partnership with anyone, you're always going to, like, be thinking about them, about what they're thinking about and things like that, because there's always going to be that undercurrent about the fact there's nothing, it's just a business relationship actually, and is their driver slightly different driver, and you can say how honest and transparent you are to each other.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be something, you have your family dynamics which are different, etc., etc. When you're doing it with your family, you can't get away from the fact that you are going to be sitting around a table with your parents. Your parents are going to really annoy you and quiz you both about the whole thing, and if you're not aligned with the whole thing, you're going to end up screaming and shouting in front of them, and then they'll kind of,
that's just a whole mess.
It's a whole mess. and so it's so much bigger than.
Yeah.
And I think without ever talking about it, that was always what we felt. So it was more about trying to kind of, when we knew, you both know that something's going to happen, kind of, that actually you both know when you're not on the same wavelength. And so kind of, and so it's like, we got, okay, for some reason we're both in the office the following day at 7 o'clock in the morning, because we both know between 7 and 8:30 we've got an hour and a half to have a huge argument before anyone else gets
Scheduling
in.
the arguments in.
Yeah, but it's a kind of,
diary.
and I think that's what's kind of, and you've got that deadline of knowing you don't want people to spill over to everything else.
That, of course.
And it's not even to present a united front or anything like that. It's just like, something actually, because it is family, you are so much more conscious. You'll say things with rawness than you would to a business partner.
Yeah.
And I believe that's just because that's what families.
Yeah. It's a different sort of relationship.
What's interesting is that when we started Speaking Office, the management company, so Michael, who's our third director of the company, he joined us. He's a lifetime friend of Tim, and I knew him. I've known him forever because actually I was his youth group leader.
Right.
But when he was growing up, but him joining us, he got exactly the same that Tim and I, because he had to just be part of it. So he threw himself into the fact that suddenly he became a member of the Gold family and such, and kind of was getting at the same sort of thing. But he embraced that. He embraced the rawness of the whole thing and understood that actually, and credit to him, he understood that actually he was dealing with two brothers who, if push came to shove, they were always going to side together.
Yeah, of course.
So therefore, all he could do was be completely honest and open about everything, because the only way he'd split us apart, unless he just wanted us to have a good argument, would be to be talking stuff through the whole way around, rather than having any resentment or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it just meant, and again, this is full credit to him, it just meant the dynamics of the three of us were the same as it was when it was just the two of us.
Yeah.
Which I just don't think you can have without that basis of being in the family.
No.
Family place.
Exactly. I feel like that open honesty is so important, like, in terms of any business partners, but when it's with family,
100%. And I think that's the thing for me, is that open, but I think a lot of people say you've always had an open, honest, but when you're with a business partner, it's still a business partner.
Yeah.
And the truth is, unless you're both want exactly the same thing, and no two people want exactly the same thing, you're going to have some things in yourself.
Exactly.
Whereas actually, I know when Tim scratches behind his ear, he's in a bad mood type of thing, because I've seen him do it from the age
you
of
have that, insight.
And I know also what I can do to prod him, and I actually quite enjoy that and not worry about the consequences, because I know he's going to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's better the other way around, because I'm probably the more, what's the word? Blowy uppy person. I can't
Easily wound up.
Yeah. So, and he's much more, so kind of, he knows what's going to wind me up when he wants to prod it. And actually he does it, and he does it with a smile on his face. I know he's just doing it because he's my brother, not because kind of he's trying to get a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Although probably he'll come and say, I do it all. I'm so manipulative, I do it all to screw Nick over. I don't know.
Oh, no, I love that. That is, it must be a very unique experience. But
I think it's a unique, I think something, I think it's an immensely privileged experience, because I think family life, as you get older and you get kind of whatever, you get a partner and maybe you have children and stuff like that, family life gets more and more complicated and things like that.
Yeah. And
if you have that thing that you do together, it's kind of, you could turn around and say, it's our hobby, which is actually, I've never said before, I've never really thought about it as such, but that's a really nice way to think about it. It's actually, I do this the same way kind of families get together on Sunday lunch, actually I get together with my brother to run a business as a hobby.
To run a business. That's, what a cool way of seeing that.
I've never thought about it.
Wow.
I like that.
We've had like an epiphany on the podcast here
today.
Today.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Well, apart from I'm sure hobbies are always meant to be fun. Sometimes it's quite stressful. But
yeah.
Megan, what are you doing?
Well, since I started using Xero accounting software, turns out I have more money in the business than I ever thought I did.
I'm so glad you're using Xero accounting software. Like I do.
Wow.
I love the fact that I can look after all of my accounts in the cloud at the click of a few buttons. I love the fact I can invoice clients, I know I can run profit and loss reports at the click of a button, and I even use Xero to look after my payroll.
That's so cool.
Isn't it just?
And as a thank you to all of our How I Failed in Business listeners, you can get 90% off for 6 months.
That is an incredible offer. Where is the link where people can get this great access to Xero?
Well, just below in the show notes. So, are you ready to play our next game called Icky Linky?
Yes, I'm still recovering from the first game, but okay, we'll give it a go.
I think it's a less tense game. There's
Okay.
no timer. There's no leaderboard. It's just my notes on my phone. For
And
this
then
one.
suddenly a massive clock comes down, and I'm like,
So Icky Linky. So each week, again, I've been put in charge. It's usually Rob's sort of forte.
Okay.
I've been put in charge of Icky Linky this week. So each week we sort of either scour LinkedIn or don't for those posts that just give you the ick.
can I tell you a story before?
Absolutely.
So I just had my birthday, my 50th birthday, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, what should I do for it? Everyone's like, it's my birthday. And I thought, I'm going to do what I did with when I was 18, which is go to the pub and have a few drinks. So basically, kind of hired out a pub, and I said to my best mate and my wife, you know something? Pub, will you guys organise a quiz?
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, okay, we'll do that. And then my best mate told my wife, don't worry, I've got this, fine. So the quiz night, it was all themed around the word gold, which is kind of good because that's my name. But then the last round, he basically went round the room and handed, like there were 6 teams, and handed each team 2 cards, one with a picture of Elon Musk and one with a picture of me.
Right.
And he said, I've spent the last week scouring the internet for quotes from Nick Gold on the internet and from Elon Musk from the internet. I'm now going to read them out, and you can hold up which ones you thought were Nick Gold, which ones you thought were Elon Musk. Honestly, I've never been so mortified about the stuff that I said on the internet. Like these my pontifications about life were going on left, right, and centre. And meanwhile, and then he read ones about Elon Musk, which people attributed to me, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" So yes, so please let's play the game. But I've got to understand that I'm feeling very raw right now.
So sorry to bring back this traumatic experience in your life. Icky Linky is a very similar game. So all you've got to do is tell me if the post I read out is a genuine LinkedIn post that someone has posted on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Or if it's made up.
Okay.
First, I've got to reveal last week's. So we sort of do it. We reveal it, and then you have to wait until the next week for the answers.
Understood.
So last week, Molly, can you remember this post?
No, I can't.
Neither can I. So I'm just going to find it on technical difficulties. Sorry. Okay. Last week's post was, this morning we launched the blank power hour. Our colleagues told us while in lockdown they were on back-to-back calls and found it difficult to take a break away from their screen. That's not how we roll. So we've introduced the power hour. It's designed to have guilt-free time away from meetings, have lunch with family, go for a walk, exercise, and just breathe. It's their time. So this was what was read out last week.
Yes.
So I said, because this was Rob's, I said that it was true. Molly said it was false. What are you thinking on this one?
I think it might be true, but it gives me a little bit dying inside as I say that.
Yes. I mean, you are correct. It is true. So me and Nick are on there. Molly, sorry, you don't know what you're talking about. So yes, it was about Just Eat. They've introduced the Just Eat Power Hour. Rob made a very good point of, so they've basically just invented lunch break.
Yes.
They've just invented the lunch break, and they've written a LinkedIn post about it.
They've given you authorization to have lunch.
And it's turned into a whole inspirational LinkedIn post about how great
that
is.
Which is quite ironic because it's from Just Eat, so it's like...
Yeah, literally. So yeah, that was last week's.
Oh, that, honestly, a little bit of me inside goes, how do we get here?
I don't. And people will honestly find anything. I'm guilty of it as well, so I can't really comment. But ready for this week's?
Yes.
Okay.
No, maybe.
Okay. We are all human. I don't care what data you read, what statistics you digest, what AI tool you look to forecast your sales with, ... Every prospect, every customer, every supplier, every client is a human with emotions, with needs, with motivations, with pains. Until you start treating your leads, your prospects and your customers like humans, your sales will falter. The best salespeople in the world don't just close sales, they open up relationships. #sales. And it's followed by a lovely mirror picture of author in a suit? Or is it? Is that made up? Or is this real? My favourite parts of that wasn't the content. It was the short sentences. It was with emotions, with needs, with motivations.
Oh, they're all full stop
with
after.
pains. Yes, it was like short sentences, which is the bit that gave me the ick.
Can I just check, you guys kind of, some of these are false, so you do make them up yourselves?
Some of these are false.
So if all else fails, you could just be writing, because that's a great LinkedIn post, which other way around. So you guys could just, as in like, it's such a typically great.
Is it great or is it icky?
No, that's my point. It's like, when I say great, I mean kind of icky in the sense of, so you could just be out there just doing these the whole time.
Good. But do you think that we have made that up, or do you think that...
I'm going to say you've made it up because it would upset me so much if you haven't.
Really? Brilliant. Molly, what's your take on this?
I think it's very cringe.
Yeah.
Very cringe.
With emotions, with needs, with motivations, with pains.
I tell you why I think it's made. Kind of the word prospects. I think is. I don't know. That's just, that got to me to thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with true.
You're gonna go with true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll have to reveal this on the next episode.
I'm sitting here all week waiting patiently.
You're gonna have to. Oh.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, like the little bits of
It's quite like with the lights and everything, very atmospheric.
It really is.
So Nick, before we sort of wrap up this episode, I do just have one last question to ask you, which is, if you could go back to when you first sort of started on this journey, what is one piece of advice you wish you could give yourself?
I think, and I have kind of said this before, but I'll say, I wish that I've got to the stage of understanding quicker, to the ability to turn around and say, I don't understand. It took me a while, especially when you're sitting with people who have got more experience than you, who kind of just sit in a room and just turn around and say, I literally have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, kind of in terms of the game we just played, that's the whole thing. So like, the ability to turn around and say, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
What you've just said is such a powerful thing. And you think by turning around and saying, I don't understand, you come across as weak.
Yeah.
But it took me however long into my career, and still kind of, you have to sensate yourself to realise that if you feel that way, then 70% of the people in that room also feel the same thing.
Absolutely.
And so it's an immensely powerful thing
to be able
and
to say.
I just love that. Just be able to turn around and say, I just literally have no idea.
It's a brave thing as well. Very brave thing. I still need to master that, I think.
I think we almost, I think kind of, even though I say it to myself the whole time, is actually, if someone's speaking at you, especially, I don't know, listen, I'm not, kind of, you walk into a meeting with a different division and they're talking in acronyms. I was talking, just turn around and say, what does that,
That wasn't me.
I like that.
That actually wasn't me.
Well, now it's good. It's taking a life of its own.
That was brilliant.
Back to the motivation.
If you're talking, kind of, they're talking acronyms or something like that. You're set kind of, and you sit there going, oh my god, they've just said PJS, and you're like, oh, everyone in the room knows it.
Yeah, but they probably
don't. Just saying, well, can you tell me what that stands for?
Yeah.
I think that if there's one thing that I think we all could do is not be afraid to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Nothing wrong with not knowing.
Exactly. It's rather than we all just blag our way through.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be my thing.
That would be your golden nugget to give to yourself.
Yes, because it's something, you know what I like about it? It wasn't a moment which, okay, now I've got this and stuff like that. It's like, I'll walk into a meeting this afternoon or tomorrow or whatever it was.
It's a constant reminder.
And it's like, and I'll have the same thing. Someone will say something, I'm like,
yeah, what?
Explain that to me, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it sense checks the person over what they're talking about, because quite often they don't really know what they're talking about. They just
I guess that whole thing you said earlier about like challenging people on what they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I've absolutely loved this episode. I think it's been such a good one.
It's been a privilege being here. Thank you so much.
Oh no, thank you. Look, we'd obviously love for our listeners to be able to sort of stay in contact with you, find out a bit more about what you do. Is there what's the best way for them to sort of get in contact? The
best way, kind of, like, firstly, I'm on LinkedIn, obviously. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. Kind of, you can go to Speakers Corner, and my email address is nick@speakerscorner.co.uk. But if for those of you who are interested in the world of speaking, and maybe you've already taken your first steps in speaking or had a successful career, please do check out Future Voices, which is future-voices.com. Because if you're looking to accelerate your speaking career,
You know
come
where
and
to
join
go.
us. Come and join us because it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll put all of your links in the description below anyway, so
Thank you.
people can just click onto it there and yeah.
But as you can tell, I'm always happy to talk to everyone. So.
Exactly. And we've actually loved talking to you today. It's
Thank
been so fun.
Good stuff.
And that is a wrap on this week's episode of How I Failed in Business. Yay, we did it. We did it. Thank you once again to Nick for being such an amazing guest. And of course, thanks to you, the listener. These episodes drop every Tuesday, so make sure you tune in for more laughs, failures, and important lessons. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.